What is up, it's Ben Leeds again. Today I'm going to be doing part 1 of What If Tatsumi loved Esdeath. So, the reason why he's gonna love Esdeath is he's gonna love her because he's kind of gonna be like Esdeath. But it's not gonna be that entire bullcrap where the weak are, like stuff like that. He's still gonna have his calm composure and everything that Esdeath liked about Tatsumi. It's just that he says he will be the strongest, and he has this pride, kind of like he has Escanor's pride that he is the strongest just because of his power. And his power is basically the crystal, is the ability to manipulate crystals. And that's his imperial arm. So we're basically so he's not gonna be with Night Raid. Because Night Raid, they want peace. Tatsumi wants war. He doesn't. Yeah, he wants domination. He wants the ability. Like he's kind of like Esdeath, but it's just that he's not. So without further ado, let's get right into this footage. So Tatsumi is basically going to actually be. Tatsumi is basically going to be. We're gonna start this wave at the beginning of the series. No, not the beginning. What is it called? The end. Okay, no. We're basically going to start this series. We're basically going to start this video off as we see, at the entire war. Now, Tatsumi, he carries around a staff, and let me show you. Incursio staff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to type this BS in. Incursio staff. Dang it, I spelled it like staffing. Okay, you basically know what. Oh, Incursio sword. I could do that. Incursio sword. So basically, his sword looks like this. Yeah. Just trying to finesse. So yeah, his sword looks like this. I know you're saying, but he doesn't have Incursio in this one. Yeah, he doesn't. Whoa, what the heck? Oh yeah, I forgot to take that one off. Oh shoot, no. Okay, so his sword looks like this. No, this is not sponsored by Incursio. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So Tatsumi is gonna find out about the entire arc thing. So basically, let's say Bulat was able to take out the 3 generations or something like that. So Tatsumi in the last match, he just looks at the ginormous bull as he sighs and he says, "This is going to be easy, super easy." As Tatsumi rushes, as the bull then rushes at Tatsumi, punching and yapping about how strong he is. Then Tatsumi says, "Let me put an end to your misery. You are nothing to this world." As Tatsumi creates a ginormous icicle pop or a crystal, kind of like a sword, as he stabs it straight through the guy's chest. And then all of a sudden, tips and horns, crystals, how you pick up a crystal rock, or inside of a, rock, inside of a rock that has crystals in it, and you know how they're pointing out, like the crystals are pointing outwards. That's how it looks in his body. Esdeath opens her eyes as she say, "I like it," and then she walks down. That was weird. And she walks downstairs, and she walks down, and she tries to put the chain around Tatsumi's neck, but Tatsumi just slaps her hand away. As he then as she then just smirks, and she rushes at Tatsumi, and she says, "If you won't let me put it on you, then I'll just have to use force." As she tries to put it around Tatsumi's neck, but Tatsumi then says, "Stop pulling the strings," pun intended. As she just stops, pun intended. Wait, what? As Tatsumi then takes out his sword and he says, "I thought you're supposed to be a legend. You're weak." As he crosses blades with Esdeath, and they're both then sent flying. They both jump back as they rush at each other, clashing blades. Now Night Raid is like, dang, we should have recruited this guy. Gosh, he's strong. As crystals then come out of the ground, flaming like pops, icicle pops, as they come at Esdeath, and Esdeath does her own, as she rushes at Tatsumi, freezing the ground. Tatsumi just slays his sword as as a shockwave then goes straight at Esdeath. She then puts a ice wall in front of her, as the ice wall then gets cut in half easily, and it cuts her in the gut. She jumps back as she spits out a little bit of blood, like it's not anything because her ice, covered it. As Tatsumi then goes rushing at her, he says, "Now, ice incarnation!" But then Esdeath does like a heck of pops of a heck of spikes at Tatsumi as these cut Tatsumi. Tatsumi then makes a crystal below his feet, as when Esdeath comes to come get him, he then teleports away. As he's now behind Esdeath, then he's about to swing his sword to cut Esdeath down. But then all of a sudden, it's like his heart then flushes. As his heart then starts to beat, like, and then he then starts to get an erection. As Esdeath turns around and says, "Gotcha," and Tatsumi then gets back to the normal world, and then he says, "Okay, well, you got me. That was unexpected." What do you mean? What did I expect from the general? Of course it's expected. It's General Esdeath. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she killed me right now. As Tatsumi holds out his arms, and Esdeath doesn't do anything, but she just pulls him as he kind of slips. He's trying to break away. He's then tries to break away, but then Esdeath chops him on his head as Tatsumi drops his sword and nearly passes out actually. But then he gets back up as they walk to Esdeath's chambers. Not really to Esdeath's chambers, Stop testing me, man. More like to we then skip to the nighttime, nighttime, as she says, "You're part of the Jaegers reserve." As Tatsumi grunts as he's a little mad about this. He says, as he sees the Jaegers walking up. Esdeath notices Tatsumi's anger as she asks, "Why are you mad, Tatsumi? You have me a part of Jaeger's reserves, but you have those stupid bums walking." As she then slaps Tatsumi in the face before he can finish his sentence. But you have those bums walking over there and doing the job. I could easily take it out, but then she, smacks him in the face when he says bums. Tatsumi then blushes hard, like he's blushing hard right now. He turns over to Esdeath as he kisses her on the lips. Esdeath's power, that she then starts to get she then starts to get a big blush on her face, and she starts to get frizzied as her ice then starts to come to her lips. And Tatsumi notices this as he puts his crystal around his mouth as they're kissing each other, and then all of a sudden they're both in, like, Esdeath is inside of her ice and Tatsumi's inside of his crystal. They both then just laugh as they said some random joke. As they see that big dog girl about to attack, and Tatsumi says, but I'm still gonna kill everyone. What? As then Tatsumi then rushes off as he cuts every single person down, and he says, it's no use. You're too weak. Using all of your attacks, using bullets. Justice. Then he says, B-I-T-C-H, you're crazy. As she says, and then, like, she gets a little mad, and then her dog Curl then rushes over at Tatsumi, as Tatsumi then kicks the dog in the face, sending the dog flying back. She then rushes at Tatsumi, as that's not even gonna move, because, like, she wants to see if Tatsumi's gonna die. As Tatsumi says, you know that I have complete No, I'm not gonna say it. As Tatsumi then puts his hand out, as crystals, as like, kind of crystal peaks then come out of his hands, and they even hit the girl, as her body's now frozen in a time lapse, I see. As Tatsumi punch the entire bottle, and then the rest of the Jaegers then rush at Tatsumi. Tatsumi just encases his body in ice, as all of the Jaegers are then frozen. Tatsumi asks, it's a pity. The only reason I'm gonna keep you alive is because I feel this weird tangling every time I look at Esdeath. I don't know what it is, but I hope one day I can find out. Sometimes I used to feel that tangling when I used to see a little girl. Not a little girl. No, don't worry. No. When I used to see a girl walking on the street. For some reason, I felt a little entanglement. But the only thing I knew back then was killing. So I killed her. And they just widen their eyes, except for Esdeath, because Esdeath's all the way over there. They say, this guy has no idea whatsoever what love is. He might kill General Esdeath. So, yeah. As Tatsumi then takes out his sword, as he cuts all of the crystals, as the crystals then fall off. Tatsumi walks away and he says, you need to improve. You need to get stronger. As, that weird guy who likes Wave, he says, oh, whatever, some bullcrap. Yeah. And, he calls Tatsumi daddy, and, like, no homo. But that weird guy, Dr. Stylish, yeah, that's his name. He calls Tatsumi, father or something like that. Some like, on some weird. I think he might be drunk. As Tatsumi then says, I don't even know your mama. As he then opens his eyes and he says, this guy might actually kill me. He doesn't know a thing about love. As Tatsumi then body flickers over to Esdeath. That guy, Mr. Stylish, can I kill him and retain his place? Esdeath just looks at Tatsumi like, are you effing crazy? No. No. So they then go back to the chambers, as while Esdeath is bathing, Tatsumi comes inside and like, he's like naked and he has a full erection. He says, so Miss Esdeath, I was reading a book, and I don't know if it was the right book, but basically, what it told me was when you have things like these, as Tatsumi then looks down, but Esdeath, she's still in the shower. She just looks over and she blushes real hard. Basically, you're supposed to do this. As he walks up behind Esdeath and he pushes her on the wall. He then touches her private part, her butt, as he opens it wide, and he looks, and this guy's weird. He looks inside, and then he then encases his member around in crystals, and he sticks on something, and yeah, you don't really need to know about that. And he just keeps pushing it in and out, and then they're just like, Esdeath is just like, yeah, she moans. She asks, Tatsumi, what in whatever worlds are you trying to do to me? Well, I read this book, and you're supposed to do this when you have what was it called? An ejection? No, an erection. No, an enection. No, something like that. Well, Tatsumi, can you at least let me get ready next time? No. If I'm right, I'm supposed to squeeze these too. As Tatsumi's just squeezing her uh you know you know you know yeah, her chest, Tatsumi's her chest, as he's squeezing them, and he says, and then the motion for this, as he just takes out a freaking book, as he says, yes, the motion for this is supposed to be this, as he backs in and out, slamming her against the wall. She says, Tatsumi! As Tatsumi just looks at her with a motionless face, and she slaps Tatsumi in the face. She says, Tatsumi, let me get ready! You're not even doing it right. Well, unless you're trying to do that, but you're not even doing it right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. As Tatsumi then walks out of the shower, as he says, I don't know. Was this book lying to me? As Tatsumi then freezes the book in his crystal, as Tatsumi then says, hey, if she teaches me, I could probably do this thing where I can do my domination attack. Or she might maybe want complete domination. It's her call, you know? This is why I'm getting any off this. What if? Like, comment, subscribe, share to all of your friends on your social media platforms. YouTube, we're out. Peace. Still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you. It's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you. Oh, easier said than done. I thought you were the one listening to my heart instead of my head. You found another one, but I am the better one. I won't let you forget me.